Good morning, church. Adam and Eve ate the fruit and introduced sin to humanity. God had a plan, and the plan was Christ, our Redeemer. Christ took all the sins from every person who will ever walk the face of the earth and believe in him. He taught his disciples, and we see in the early church where they were able to bring many converts to faith with the help of the Holy Spirit, who is a helper to all who are of Christ. A lot of converts were joining Christians every day. This was good. The downside to it was that a lot of falsehood arose. And First John is a letter in response to many of the false teachings that were going around. He shares about who Christ is so that he can inspire the readers to grow closer to each other and closer to God. In 2 John, we see Apostle John writing to an elect lady, referring to the local church and her children, where he was referring to the believers fellowshipping in the church. He encourages this church to grow in loving and living the truth by practicing and protecting the truth. As believers, our lives must be controlled by a love for the truth and a desire to magnify the truth. In 3 John, Apostle John is writing to a godly man about his church and the importance of a good witness in the church. And this letter is addressed to a man by the name Gaius, one of the leaders of the assembly or the church. And Apostle John is warning about the dictatorial leaders inside the fellowship, some who claim to love the truth and yet hate the brethren. Doing this is to confess ignorance of what the Christians or the people known as Christians life is about. When God's people love him and the truth, and they love one another, then the Spirit of God can work in an assembly or in the church to glorify Jesus Christ. But when any member of a church becomes proud and tries to have preeminence, then the Spirit of God is grieved and he cannot bless. And Apostle John highlights the importance of true unity of the Spirit that makes a healthy fellowship. Our last book is Jude, and Jude was a brother of James, half brother of Christ, and he writes this letter to warn his readers, or to warn the church, that the apostates were already at the sin. He exhorts them and affirms that God's saints are set apart and will be preserved, but the fallen angels and the apostates are being preserved for judgment. Thank you, and God bless you.